I'm Chris, that's Tyler. Tyler, what 3 Ohio State players are you most excited for this upcoming season? To see, to watch?
Ooh.
Now, you can go 2 different routes with this. You can pick the Jeremiah Smiths and the Julian Sayans and the Sonny Styles. But at the end of it, I'll call you lame, corny, and basic. Who is Tyler McCormick most excited for?
Luke Montgomery.
Oh, okay.
Kenyatta Jackson and Jermaine Matthews.
That's a good group. I'll get down with that. The Montgomery one shocks me, but I understand it.
I think Luke Montgomery is going to be an All-American.
Whoa. Is that so? Here we go. So we are 45 seconds in. First hot take of the show. Luke Montgomery is an All-American because why?
What I saw him do in the playoffs is exactly what I thought he should have been doing. Like, I couldn't believe that kid didn't play all season.
I agree.
I mean, that kid has an attitude. You see him going nuts when they score a running touchdown. Like, when they run the ball in for a touchdown, like, he's going nuts. He's got some nastiness to him. You could tell he gets hyped. He's vocal. That kid's a player. I don't care. That kid is going to be an All-American. I think he's an All-American left guard.
He plays like he just rubs some like liquid smelling salt on like the upper half of his lip, bro, and he can just always smell it. I mean, you saw like whenever they scored a touchdown, and if it was outside 10 yards, he was always the first lineman to sprint down and get in the end zone to celebrate.
I mean, you got him, and you got the Ethan Anyanwa kid, who also we saw a video of him taking actual smelling salts.
He's a psycho. He's a psycho.
Yeah. Just run the ball to the left side. We good. We are good.
And I'll throw one more out there. Like the power run game with Bowman might be really exciting to watch because I'll tell you, Hinsman as a guard, I think he's disgustingly good.
Unfortunately, he's going to play center.
So I'm hopeful that we see some of that nastiness. But the nastiness we saw from him against Penn State with the middle bar, like he was like, playing pre-segregation, like that was the nastiest version of him that I'd seen. Like pre-seg, Carson Hinsman was crazy.
I don't know if we've ever said this, but like the question we had to ask, the offensive line has to ask, is Padilla better at center than Tegra is at right guard?
Yeah, it's a big question. Because if you could put somebody else at center and move because Hinsman's a great. I think Hinsman's a great guard. I know he's going to probably end up playing center, but he's a great guard.
He's going to play guard in the NFL.
Yeah, he'll play guard in the NFL for sure.
So, like, and then we saw that Ciravel is going to play right tackle.
Right.
So it's like, is Tegra better at guard than Padilla is at center? Because if Padilla's better at his job than Tegra, then you just kick Hinsman to the right guard.
I think Tegra's the odd man out of this. So
I just feel like Tegra was probably the most disappointing lineman out of the whole group, and that's the top same lineman as Josh Fryerman.
Yeah, he's a top 50 kid, and it was like a top 10 tackle in the class. Like that was like a big get, and he ended up not being good, and he ended up also like missing a lot of assignments on top of being really stiff.
I think he's just too fat, to be quite honest with you.
I just think he's bad. I don't know what it is. I just think he's bad, bro.
I think he's almost too big. Like he almost looks like he's like an overweight tackle. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah, he has that look.
So it's like, can he play guard? I don't know. I mean, he's very. I think he's talented, but like, maybe I shouldn't say talent. He looks like I could see why. He's a massive human being.
Like he looks the part, bro. Like when you see him go through drills, when you see him maneuver, like he looks the part. I wonder if like a change in coaching will help him because obviously like Bowen is like a different style of offensive line coach. A different style than Justin Fry, who I really liked. I thought Justin Fry did a really good job, and I wasn't one of the people that called for his job. But I wonder if like the change in coaching, like the change in the room will like help him.
Well, the thing about it is like, if you think about it, anytime there's a change in a position group's room, none of those players were recruited by that coach.
Right.
So that coach has no allegiances, no thoughts, no
loyalties, like
no loyalties to nobody.
And there's like no need to like force being right. Like you just want to get it right because these are all new guys to your room.
Right. So, I mean, if you ask me today, I know what Tegra is. I'm willing to find out what Josh Padilla is.
Okay, that's fair.
Because I don't need the only thing that I think I like, the positive that you can spin with Hinsman playing center is with a young quarterback that Hinsman can make a lot of those calls.
Yeah, the experience factor.
He can make the progressions. I mean, not the checks on the line for protection.
Yeah.
Like Hinsman can do that. So I wonder if that's probably why. But like to me,
but back to Montgomery. I think Montgomery's gonna be fantastic, though. I agree with you. Just want to piggyback off of that.
I think he's gonna be as good as like Wyatt Davis was. Like I think he's really, really, really good.
Dude, second gen offensive lineman, man. Like we believe in like second gen receivers. We believe in second gen quarterbacks. I mean, you know who his dad is? His dad was a center at Miami of Ohio when Roethlisberger was the quarterback.
Yes, I did know that.
That's so we're talking about like football, like in the mud, like lineman lifestyle kind of thing.
Yeah, correct. So, with Montgomery, that's exciting. I think, and I said Jermaine Matthews because I know, even though we know he's like really good, I wanted like Jermaine Matthews to me over the last, 2 seasons, I thought was the stickiest cover corner we had.
I mean, isn't he the most like Denzel Ward?
Do you think he's more like Denzel Ward, or is he more like Jeff Okudah?
I think like his size to me looks like Denzel Ward, but maybe like sticky like Okudah.
College version of Jeff Okudah. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen a better corner in college than that.
No, he was absurd, dude. And like him having, I mean, he had T. Higgins in jail.
Yeah. So and then I've also felt, but more like with Kenyatta, I've always thought that I thought he was a better pure pass rusher than both Jack and JTT.
Yeah, definitely more bend and more wiggle. Like he looks like your prototypical, like
he looks like an NFL defensive end.
Yeah, he was giving guys hell 2 spring games ago too.
So I'm hoping that he can, he's one of those where you like he balls this year and we're like, man, why didn't we see that more of that?
Yeah, like I almost want to say like we've needed you and we kind of have, but we also want a title, so it's like you're okay with, right? Because if you're gonna have somebody ball out the year after you win a title, like it's kind of okay.
Yeah, and it's also like I feel like Jack and JTT had been here for like a decade, and I'm just like, anybody, I'm just ready for something else.
Yeah, because we're used to like the dominant like 10 sack a year guys, and it does feel like Kenyatta has the potential to have like 9.5 sacks.
Kenyatta looks more like Chase Young and Joey Bosa and Nick Bosa than Jack or JTT ever looked.
Yeah, like just body style,
body
style alone. Right. Yeah. No, he definitely looks more like what you would build in the lab.
Yeah. Who are your 3?
Brandon Ennis.
Okay.
I'm really excited about Brandon. I mean, probably Carson Hinsman. And then I'm really excited to see Malik Hartford out there. I think him or McClain, I think Hartford's going to win that job. But that's a kid a couple years ago that I heard great things about coming out of camp. Obviously had the big mental mistake against Michigan where he should have just intercepted a JJ McCarthy pass and then we didn't really see him anymore. But he's a guy that in high school was a really big time hitter and chose Ohio State. And they're, chip on the shoulder because at that time, the 2 safeties they were recruiting were Caleb Downs and Malik Hartford. And Malik was going to like go prove, look, I know Caleb Downs didn't come here, but I can be that too. Obviously, didn't really get the shot, but I'm excited about who plays that Lathan Ransom safety role, especially because of how Matt Patricia is going to use everybody and be so multiple.
Yeah, I'm excited. I can't even imagine how Matt Patricia is going to use Caleb Downs.
It's going to be wild, I think.
Do you think he's just going to let Caleb Downs just like go float wherever he wants to?
Troy Polamalu.
Yeah.
Earl Thomas.
I'm trying to think of like who were the safeties that Matt Patricia had in New England, like Patrick Chung.
Yeah, Patrick Chung. I mean, McCourty bounced back and forth a lot between corner and safety.
And like Caleb Downs is a better athlete than both of
those dudes, which is wild because they're NFLers. But yeah, no, like I'm expecting Caleb Downs. I mean, I here we go. And I'm not gonna sit here and like I'm not having like a hot take Chris show like Hill to die on. But I would not be at all shocked if Caleb Downs ended up in New York. Like I wouldn't bet on him to make it there, but I wouldn't be shocked.
He's gonna have to do some like more punt returning stuff.
Well, you know what I think he could be like college impact wise?
Tyrann Mathieu.
Boom. Who I thought was the most impactful safety I had ever seen.
The Honey Badger.
Yeah. Like I thought he was more like I love Hooker. I thought just like Honey Badger's just more in your face because he returned punts too.
Yeah.
Is like the other part of it.
I mean, if you see Caleb back there all the time returning punts and like, yeah, I mean, we've already seen him do it once.
Yeah. And
so to me, you could be right. If he returns punts, like he's the exclusive punt returner, then absolutely I see where you're going with that.
Yeah, those are my three. Now, obviously, like I'm so excited for Jeremiah Smith year 2 because I'm like I can't visualize him getting better, but I know he's probably going to get better with age. I'm excited to see which one of these young receivers gets to crack the rotation, if there even is rotation. I'm really excited about James People, so I'm excited about a lot of guys, but I'm really excited about the three I just mentioned.
Yeah.
Here we go. Have you seen all the SEC like puffing their chest out, like in their little power struggle with the Big Ten?
It's like the it's like the bully. It's like when the bully gets stood up to and he has to try to remind everybody that he's still tough, but nobody's buying it anymore.
Like why he's the bully.
Yeah. And now like everybody sees them as for what they are. And they're like, we're not afraid of you anymore.
Dude, making a packet explaining why the SEC gauntlet is the most difficult gauntlet and whatever, and having analytics from the last 10 years is the most pick me shit I've ever seen anybody. It's so like little man syndrome-y.
It's honestly one of these things where you're just wondering, you know, the whole NIL thing has really made people question like, okay, what were y'all really doing?
Honestly, isn't that the best indicator that something else is really up here? Because you guys, I will admit, over the last 10 years, the SEC has been the most dominant conference. I don't think anybody will argue that.
Nobody would. If you even go back to the BCS.
Yeah, you can go back a long time. But the reason I don't like going back in the 10 years, and here we go, let me put some context for people who maybe don't know. The conferences, some of them are on board with 4 auto qualifiers and 11 at large. Some of them are. Some of them being Big 12 ACC. The Big 10 is like, whoa, we're not doing that if the SEC is only playing 8 conference games and we're playing 9. So we'll sign off on this as one of the 2 big dogs, and we've earned a rightful seat at the table if the SEC agrees to go to 9 games. The SEC's response is to bitch and complain and say, well, we're the toughest conference. We're a gauntlet. Our 8 games is the equivalent or honestly harder than your 9 games, and so we won't do it. And what that's going to do is it's going to free up. It's going to have more SEC teams that are 10-2 because half the league won't have that additional loss from having to play a 9th conference game.
But here's the other thing to think about too. If we think about the SEC dominance, it started with Urban Meyer's Florida team. Okay. Yeah. Florida had their run. And then when Urban left, it became Nick Saban, and Nick Saban propped up that whole conference for a decade and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kirby had his moment, and LSU's sprinkled in 2. But like, if you really think about it, it's just one team carrying the mantle.
And they would argue that Auburn also got theirs too.
Auburn got there because Gus Malzahn or whatever. No, who was it? Who was the coach when they randomly picked up Cam Newton?
Wasn't it Gene Chizik?
Gene Chizik. Like, Auburn didn't win that. Cam Newton won that.
And Cam Newton came from Urban Meyer's Florida team.
Correct. Cam Newton and a bunch of pedestrians won a natty.
You know, they didn't have a single offensive player drafted in the NFL.
Exactly. So I don't want to hear about Auburn's Cam Newton title. Cam Newton, Cam Newton should just keep the trophy at his house.
Mm-hmm.
I just to me, all these, the SEC, if you look at the SEC and the Big Ten, both bottom tiers, both stink.
Right.
We're not going to sit here and compare bottom tier. If the SEC wants to try to sit here and compare their bottom tier to the Big Ten's bottom tier, you're wasting air.
Wasting everybody's time.
They both stink. Purdue stinks. Mississippi State stinks.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about a stink off.
Mississippi State got boat raced by a MAC team this year.
And then if you think about the middle tier, that's probably where the SEC had a leg up for a while.
But I think that's been evaporated.
So do I. I just don't see it. I go back to the question of what were y'all really doing down there?
Yeah, because now that talent's being equally spread out, we're seeing cracks in the armor, and we've also seen now the SEC has not really been a development area. It's been more of we're just gonna hoard talent, and the Big Ten has been forced to do more with less. And now that talent's being spread out, you're seeing the advantages on the upper end because coaches that had to learn how to develop because they're not being able to hoard talent are now able to get the talent because the NIL era is a thing, which is why you get stuff like Illinois beating South Carolina in a bowl game.
Well,
that happens because of that.
Yeah, and for a while, the Big Ten had better coaches than the SEC.
Well, that was my point. That was my point.
Mm-hmm. And then we also have had better quarterback play for a while. I say we as in the Big Ten. We've had better quarterbacks.
Yeah, probably. I mean, probably.
I mean, can you think how many NFL? If you look at the SEC and their titles in the last, I don't know, let's just say since Urban Meyer's Florida team.
Yeah.
How many real NFL quarterbacks were on those championship teams? I can think of.
I mean, we can
Joe
go through
Burrow.
It. Well, here we go. We'll just go through all the quarterbacks that won a title in the SEC, right?
Chris Leak,
not
an NFL quarterback.
Not an NFL guy. Tim Tebow, not an NFL quarterback. AJ McCarron.
Who was the LSU quarterback that beat Ohio State?
It wasn't Zach Mettenberger. I don't even know.
Exactly. This is my point.
Coker won one at Alabama.
Nope.
Tua.
Yeps.
And Jalen Hurts. It was Jalen Hurts Tua year.
Okay, Jalen Hurts also.
Yes, but needed to go somewhere else to be an NFL quarterback and to be in a third rounder.
Joe
Burrow, obviously we said yes. Cam Newton, yes. Stetson Bennett, no.
We're talking about 3?
Yeah, Stetson Bennett, no, and he won back-to-back.
Yeah, so it's just, to me, it's all the things that the Big Ten was doing without the money has now come true. Now we have the money. It's it's showing itself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Alabama, last year, I'm going to give them kind of the pass because it's Nick Saban left. But Jalen Hurts, I mean, not Jalen Hurts, Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe cost them a playoff berth. They should have been in the playoff. Jalen Milroe stinks.
Well, here we go back. Go back a year. Jalen Milroe is the reason they lost to Michigan.
Yeah, and they try to blame it on Seth McLaughlin. And Seth McLaughlin comes to Ohio State and he wins the Remington.
Right. Milroe was bad in the pocket, fumbled late in the game. Milroe's the reason that they lost that game.
Yeah. I mean, they haven't sniffed a champion. But again, I just keep thinking the SEC's always been carried by a team.
Right.
More so than the depth that the Big Ten has shown at the top.
Well, on top of that, they've been carried by a team, and they'll excuse a bad loss in the conference and say, oh, it's a gauntlet. But when Ohio State has a bad loss in the conference, in the middle, Urban Meyer shit the bed. It's that's what they kept getting away with. Because Nick Saban only had one. Here we go. Get one undefeated wire team. You know what team that was?
Was the AJ McCarron team?
No, it was 2020.
Oh.
Yeah. They dropped a game every year.
Yes.
But it got chalked up to, oh, that's not a bad loss. The SEC is just so deep. So it was like a real optics thing.
Yeah. And 2018, Ohio State gets punished. I mean, would anybody have really wanted to see Dwayne Haskins in a playoff game?
No, that would Dwayne Haskins and Ryan Day with a month to prepare for a playoff game was going to spell very, very, very bad news for whatever DC they had up there.
Because 2018 was Clemson won.
Mm-hmm.
That was
the T-Law year.
Yep. And were they the 1 seed? I don't think they were the 1 seed.
No, I believe Bama was the 1 seed.
Yeah, I mean,
they were the
2018.
2 seed, yeah.
Ryan Day with a month to prepare with Dwayne Haskins would have been a problem.
I mean, it would have been. I mean, freshman Trevor Lawrence and Justin Ross gave Alabama hell, and that's why they won that game.
But like, that's the thing is, if you go back, Ole Miss losing to Florida, a 6-loss team, like college football teams are not like, there's just not enough good players that excuse a loss to a 6-loss team.
Yeah, and like that loss, they want that loss excused because, it's the SEC. Like, no, buddy, Lane Kiffin, it was 4th and 1, and you put in a defensive lineman.
Yeah, and then
took
Alabama loses to Vanderbilt and Oklahoma.
Dude, the Oklahoma loss was egregiously bad.
Yeah.
Now, look, we had the case years ago where Ohio State lost badly to a bad Iowa team, and we weren't crying about not making the playoffs, right?
Correct. I said, and it's funny, that year I remember saying, if you lose by 3 or 4 touchdowns, you don't deserve to play for a national championship.
Correct.
That was my thing, because I was disgusted that we lost that bad. But now it's like,
they want to pass for that.
Yeah, I'm just not here for it. Like, again, I said it last show. If you go 10-2 in the SEC or the Big Ten, you're in the playoff.
That's what the Big Ten also thinks, and so they don't think it's fair for the SEC only to play 8 conference games, because with that 9th game, that'll be the separator, because half the league will have to wear a loss. And it's like, look, I'm down with 4. Like Big Ten's like, I'm down with 4 auto qualifiers and then at-large bids. But the SEC is going to get at-large bids over us because we play an extra conference game, and we can't get rid of it because the TV deal. You guys can add an extra conference game. Like, if we want to be allies, we should be in uniform. And then the SEC comes out with this stupid packet explaining why their 8 games are greater than the Big Ten's 9 games. And it's unequivocally just not true. And if you look at the last 2 national champions, it's been dominated by the Midwest.
And the worst part about it, too, to me, is that they don't even, like, with that extra non-conference game they have, they don't schedule another good team or like a decent team. They schedule an FCS opponent.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like,
they play the FCS opponent in November.
Right.
It's like, kiss my ass. No,
it's a late bye week. It's the worst thing. It's disgusting.
Greg Sankey, to me, is just a guy who thinks he has more power than he has.
Well, the thing is, like, they were walking together, and now it feels like Sankey wants to be top dog and wants to angle to be a commissioner, but also commissioner of everything, and thinks that it's 5 years ago and he can bull everybody. Like, my dog, Greg Sankey, your biggest gun is Nick Saban. He's no longer coaching in your conference.
Correct.
That was your big gun,
carried by Nick Saban.
Right.
And right now, your current big gun can't get his players to stop driving and fast and killing people in cars.
Correct.
So,
and also, like, it's funny because, like, now, like, when we bring up like SEC bowl game stuff, people are like, "Oh, like, bowl games don't matter," but bowl games always matter when the SEC was winning them, didn't they?
Yeah, I don't really care about I've never cared about non-playoff bowl games.
Well, I think intrinsically they are interesting, and I think they do mean a little bit in terms of conference standing. Like the fact that Michigan's backups beat Alabama's backups, all of which are the returning years, like that matters to me.
Sure.
Like Illinois, like South Carolina crying that they need a playoff spot and being a young team and losing to Illinois matters to me.
Yeah, I mean, but I also said the same thing about Ohio State losing to Missouri, and I know why we lost that game, but I wasn't upset that we lost that game, and I know
but I think that's definitely extraordinary circumstances.
Yeah, it's definitely extraordinary circumstances, but since the playoff has been created, the 4-team, even the 4-team, to me, bowl games have meant less. Bowl games meant a ton in the BCS era because only 2 teams got to play for the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. And so, like your end of the season, like playing in a Rose Bowl mattered.
Correct. So, they just don't. The only thing that bothers me about the SEC is like you say that bowl games don't matter when you lose them, but you say they matter when you win them. Well, just pick one. I don't care which one it is. Just pick it.
But also, like, then something's got to matter from this postseason because guess what? Notre Dame beat Georgia. Ohio State beat Texas. Like it was
Tennessee.
Yeah, and Tennessee. It was 2 Midwest teams in the national championship game. So okay, playoffs don't matter. Got it, because we wiped the floor with you guys in the playoffs. We look to the other data point we have, and that's bowl games. Those also don't matter. Add a 9th game.
Yeah, just play the 9th conference game. You think your fans want to see you play an FCS team?
No.
Nope. Nobody wants to see that.
Mm-hmm. Nobody.
So
that's my little Big Ten standing on business. Shout out to Big Ten. I think it's going to be improving this year too. I'm excited to see honestly what that next tier does to kind of.
Who you got winning the Big 12 and the ACC?
I think I have Arizona State and Iowa State in the championship.
Okay.
I like both their quarterbacks. I think Rocco Becht is awesome. And then who do I have in what conference? The ACC?
Yeah.
In the ACC, I have Clemson, and I wanted to ask you, is there going to be any challenger to Clemson this year?
If you made me pick one today, I'd probably pick Syracuse or Georgia Tech.
I like Tech a lot. I just wonder if they're going to have the depth to beat Clemson, because obviously, like they're the school that's really hindered by academic standards.
Sure, no doubt about it. I just think you got a quarterback coming back who's played a lot of football. Yeah. That means something. I know it's a different type of football,
and he's a warrior, man. Like he took Georgia to the wire,
but he's not going to. There's nothing that Haynes King hasn't seen before.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I think Syracuse is interesting because I think Fran Brown is the best coach in the ACC.
I'd agree.
And then I don't think Miami's going to do it. I don't think. I don't really know who else is. SMU. I don't think they can do it again.
I like SMU this year, actually. They might be a legit challenger because they spend money in the portal.
Yeah. I want to see. I wouldn't mind, honestly, seeing Texas Tech be good in the Big 12 just because I think I feel like Lubbock is a cool place. I think Lubbock is a cool place to watch a football game. And them being good would be fun.
Mm-hmm. So they spent the most money in the portal at everybody.
Yeah.
And they kept their GM from going to Notre Dame. I think that matters.
So, and my personal opinion of the Big 12 is that it's going to be really hard to if anybody's going to take over the Big 12, I want to say Arizona State because I think Dillingham's really good.
Mm-hmm. I think they're on a Clemson path. I don't know how you feel about them, but I think they are going to be like the Clemson hot streak. Now, maybe not with the title, but in terms of like capturing that conference, because Dillingham, like as a Dan Lanning disciple, like he's doing a really, really good job.
I mean, it's definitely something to keep an eye on. I think I'll take Tech to be the rival to Arizona State over Iowa State.
Okay.
Even though I'm going against my Purple Raider brethren and Matt Campbell.
I was going to say, I think Matt Campbell is a top 2 or top 1 coach in that conference. And I don't know how you feel about Rhett Lashley too, but like I'll take the coaches over what, and I'd like to see what Texas Tech can do, but I like those other teams a little bit more than them.
I would really. Do you think the Big 12 is a better conference than the ACC? Overall?
They got better quarterback. They're gonna have better offense and better quarterbacks. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's funny because like I say that, but like obviously like Carson Beck and Haynes King, but the group of Rocco Becht, Hoover, Avery Johnson, and Sam Levat, I think is a really, really good group. Yeah. And I'm curious to see what the Juju Lewis kid does at Colorado too. So I mean, I think we have a good group of quarterbacks over there in the Big 12.
Do you think Are you interested to see what Prime is going to be like without his kid?
Yeah, I mean, so they landed that kid. I don't know if you know how much you know about Juju Lewis.
I know he was a pretty highly recruited player.
Here we go. As a freshman in the state title game, they played against Caleb Downs' team. He threw for 500 yards.
Whoa.
Yeah, as a freshman.
Well, didn't they get the kid from Liberty, though?
Yeah, Salters is going to start this year and then Juju the next year. So Juju sped up his clock, did the Quinn Ewers and reclassified. Again, he threw for 500 yards in the state of Georgia state championship game against Caleb Downs' team. Isn't that absurd?
I think that reclassifying thing is a horrible decision for these.
Terrible idea. It speeds up your clock way too much.
Yeah, just you, a 17-year-old kid against there's just no way you can compete realistically to play.
Yeah. But also
I don't know how, what's more important for your development, playing against high school kids, but still playing, or sitting the bench.
Yeah. I think there's no point in doing it in a quarterback, especially in today's era, because you can play your senior season and then get to campus in January.
Right. Yeah, it makes no sense.
You're literally doing a 6 months difference, basically.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see how it works, but I'm interested to see how that, because that kid caught my attention, because that kid got an Ohio State offer from that game, dude.
Yeah.
As a freshman in high school in the Georgia State playoffs, with over 500 yards against Caleb Downs' team, that's wildly impressive.
I mean, Georgia football is really good.
Yeah, so. especially I know Caleb Downs playing safety. He's got to be mad as hell.
Sick.
So, are you gonna watch the NBA Finals?
No.
Pacers eliminate the Knicks. Thunder move on. This might be the lowest rated NBA Finals the last 10 years.
I don't do the hate watching like you do. I don't hate watch. I just don't watch.
Don't watch. Okay.
Yeah, I just I hate the Pacers. I want the Thunder to win. I don't want the Pacers to win.
Did you root for the Knicks?
I didn't watch.
And I'm saying, in your head, if you wanted to.
Oh yeah. I wanted them to both lose. Really bad. I just can't do either one of them.
My uncle was one of those guys that always talked about you root for the team that beat you.
No.
So that you got beat by the champion.
No.
That's what I would ask. Did you see Halliburton? Thought he won Eastern Conference Finals MVP.
Who won it?
Pascal Siakam. But they had them all lined. They had them all lined up there, and they got Reggie Miller up there, and they're starting to Eastern Conference Finals, MVP, and he starts smiling and takes a half step forward, and they said Pascal Siakam.
Dog, people hate Tyrese Halliburton. I don't
hate him.
I don't like him, but I don't hate him. He's a little.
I don't like him, but the hate isn't justified. The amount of hate he gets.
Yeah, I don't think it's justified at all. So, but no, I'm not gonna watch.
It is funny because this might be the most people hate SGA because of the style of basketball, and people hate Halliburton because they think he's corny.
I think SGA is really good. I think he's fine to watch. I don't mind watching him.
I don't hate him,
personally. I wish that people still valued the mid-range jumper because I find it very
appealing.
For some, I can't explain why.
It's visual. It adds a level of beauty to the game. It's visually appealing.
Yes. I know that the shot's not as valuable. I get the purpose, the idea behind it. What's the difference between a 22-footer and an 18-footer? A point. So I totally understand the sentiment behind the analytical view of that. I still think there's a beauty to the mid-range game.
There was a beauty to Kobe's game. There's a beauty to T-Mac's
game. It's a very because it's always contested. It's intimate. It's an intimate one-on-one battle.
Mm-hmm.
So I like it. I like that he still shoots the mid-range jumper. The whole foul baiting thing, I think that's kind of a skill, man. I don't really buy into the I think that's part of being an offensive player.
I think it's a skill too, but this feels like the meme: empowering versus disgusting, Harden versus SGA.
To me, it was my thing with Harden wasn't how he played. It's the fact that like he couldn't like get his team over the hump.
But think about his prime.
No, I get it. Like I never really had a problem.
I'm saying like people hated the Harden play style is what I'm saying. People hated the Harden play style.
I mean, the first guy through the wall always gets bloody, my boy.
Right. That's fair. Even though it wasn't even like that, but it just optically looked like it, bro.
To me, it's one of these things where I think getting fouled is like being a good offensive player.
SGA did take it to another level though. Like getting guys to foul him by like grabbing them and like hitting himself with their hand is like a different. Like that's like up in the scale a little bit. But I'll agree with you on the mid-range part of it. Analytics, here we go, Tyler. Analytics and people. I don't know how you have a take on this. They did strip our sports of things that we both think is beautiful. Like analytics took away workhorse pitchers. Analytics took away workhorse running backs.
I think analytics. I hate what analytics did to baseball.
I'm saying like this, like they've had an impact on baseball and pitching in particular. They've had an impact on NFL wise in terms of like running backs,
but
they've had an impact on the mid-range game.
My pushback with the NFL and running backs is I don't know if it's an analytical thing. I think it's just like, when did 7-on-7 become a big thing in football?
No, I think the football thing changed before 7-on-7. I think that the data, the data backed up, okay, these running backs, this many carries in, are losing this, and this. We can get 80% of our star running backs carries. That way we go committee and keep them fresh at the end of the year. Like that was like a sports science thing.
I mean, yeah, but that kind of makes sense to me. Like that.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if I would consider that an analytical thing. I think it's more like a
sports science, I guess.
Yeah, a sports science thing. But like the analytical stuff with baseball, to me, I think baseball is such a statistical game, and like I guess basketball can be too, in a certain sense of like you see. I think some basketball players have become so one-dimensional because it's like they just look at like their heat map. Like
they're being programmed. Like they're being programmed now at an earlier age.
Like, this is the shot that you're good at. This is the only shot you're going to shoot.
Yeah.
And so everything's run from that player to get that shot.
Well, it's like trickle down. Because like now, like when me and you were playing basketball growing up, like the mid-range shot was a lot. Now when you go to the gym to play pickup, it's like raining threes. And that's like analytics. And like Steph Curry was like one of the analytical babies.
Yeah, if you are, it's like either shoot a layup or shoot a three.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess you like it's a higher percentage, obviously, when you shoot a layup, and the 3-pointer is worth an extra point. Yeah. And when you told me the one day on the phone, you're like, you see these blowouts more because if you make 3 more shots than the other team in a quarter, well, that's now
40 points.
More points now.
Yeah.
So a 20-point blowout feels more like a 35, 40-point blowout. And I'm like, oh, I guess that makes sense. I mean,
because like if you beat somebody by 2 buckets every quarter, you win by like 20 points now.
Yeah.
Like that's a crazy thing to swallow. Cause like if beating someone by 2 buckets is not a lot. Like if we go to the rec and I beat your team, 16-14, that's a close game.
Yeah.
But it's like that over 4 quarters because we're shooting a lot of 2s and 3s. All of a sudden, that's a 20-point game.
Yeah, I mean, 2 threes. If you beat a team by 2 threes per quarter, that's a 24-point win.
Yeah. So, and if you beat them by 1 3 and 1 2 a quarter, that's a 20-point win.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
it's a wild thing when you put it in that kind of perspective.
Yeah. So the analytical stuff, I just go back and forth with it. I think baseball, it's hurt the game and also helped the game. It's at the same time. I think the feel the managers used to have, they no longer have to have that. Mm-hmm. So anybody can go be a manager now. I don't think I think that's why you're seeing more former players become managers, because they don't have to like their shtick now in the hiring process is like, I know how to manage the clubhouse. I know what the players are going through on a day-to-day basis because I did it and I just did it. I
Well, okay,
just retired.
let's
And
flip
and
let's flip to baseball. We're talking about Stephen Vogt in particular, right?
Stephen Vogt, but it's like you saw Craig Counsell go from player to manager pretty quickly. Aaron Boone, player to manager pretty quickly. And it's just like, a manager's job now almost is like more like their priority is managing the clubhouse as far as like the players are concerned. But when it comes to in-game decisions, like that shit's already written out for them. And I find that to be, I don't necessarily love that.
Well, they do have the final say though. Like they can defy and go if they want. You see that every now and again, like the in-game feel of it. Because like the analytics will always say like, 3 times through the lineup, like pull your starting pitcher. Well, if your starting pitcher is pulling a gem and you're in your vote, you've got the option to leave him in.
Yeah, to me, I just wish there was more like the analytics when baseball took back the shift where they weren't allowed to have 3 guys. I thought that was a great move by baseball.
Great move.
Because like I know that the analytics basically took the shortstop or the second baseman to one side of the field.
And didn't that like lower batting average by like 20%?
Oh,
it was like crazy,
man.
dude. Like there was like a window of guys who had like career low batting average wise because they could no longer.
You could probably, if you went back and looked it up, but like you might be able to find a guy or two that like couldn't get a job.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like that coming
baseball because of the shift.
That coming at the same time that pitchers hit a drastic spike and edge over hitters, like that was a crazy time. And so the shift, getting rid of the shift was a good thing.
I think it was I think it's. I was definitely apprehensive of the pitch clock and speeding up the game, but like I think it has, and I think it's worked. Like I was pleasantly wrong about my feelings on the pitch clock and speeding up the game, because my initial thought was like, what are we doing this for? Who are we doing this for? The casual baseball fan? The casual baseball fan's going to come and go as they please regardless.
I think it's drastically improved the quality of the.
Absolutely. The product is way better now.
Yeah.
It really is better. Games are, oh, wow. I'm watching this game and that ball was absolutely hammered. Oh, my God. He just hit it over the batter's eye. Sorry. But the
quality of the game is better.
You're not seeing like the Boston Red Sox and the Yankees playing 5-hour games anymore. Like nobody wants to watch that anymore. It's becoming like I'm a golfer. Like I'm a pretty good golfer and like I like watching golf. But nobody has 6 hours to watch golf now. Well, nobody has 6 hours to watch a baseball game.
And like also life is faster now, so things we do have to be faster.
Absolutely. And I think baseball has done a great job. Now there are things like I appreciated the manager bringing in the pitcher for one batter. Like I appreciated that managerial strategy. Oh my God, dude! Ole Miss just hit 3 homers in a row, back to back to back.
It's the Ole Miss Yankees.
But it's just, to me, it's one of these things where the micromanaging of the pitchers, not allowing hitters to face left-handed pitchers if they're a left-handed hitter.
Okay, here we go. Let me pause you. That is more of a that is like the Guardians are the team that does that more than anybody else.
Well, I mean, it's about to happen because David Fry is back up, and I'm pretty sure the Guardians are about to face like 7 left-handed pitchers in a row.
All right, let's talk guards.
I don't know when Kyle Mansour is going to play next.
Dog, if let me get my swap in here. Let's talk guards. They take 2 out of 3 over the Angels.
Why are you
Give me your thoughts. Let me get my segues in here.
I got to be honest with you. When the guards lost to the Angels in the first game of that series, I was like, uh-oh. I was like, this this is starting to go in a way that I don't think this is good. But and then they get down 4-0 in game 2, and it's just like, uh-oh.
It felt like they were going to go down a bleeding path. Like it
felt like they were about to go down a path that they were never going to be able to dig their way out of. And then they did, and their bats woke up, and they take 2 from the Angels. Jose Ramirez he's the greatest guardian of all time. Stephen Kwan is a hitting machine, and Carlos Santana is doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing. And I feel like I specifically may need to apologize for this window of time for Nolan Jones, because he seems to be, he's hitting 340 in his last 14 games.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it's only one extra base hit. It's all a bunch of singles. Like, buddy, you are way too big to be hitting just singles.
Well, they talked to him about it today after the game, and it was kind of just like taking what's there for me, and it feels like he's willing to sacrifice some exit velo for more contact, basically. Because what was concerning, I thought, for me, which is why I never bought into all the it's coming, is the 27% K rate and the 26% whiff rate on top of the squared up rate being only 25%, meaning he's not hitting the ball in the air, he's hitting the ball into the ground. So like that's what created pause for me. And it feels like he took a little bit off the swing to sacrifice the extra base hits for a higher batting average. And expected batting average is still only 241, but he's hitting better than he definitely was.
Yeah. No, so he's definitely helping turn the lineup over. I don't want to see him move up in the order at all. I want to keep him in that 9 hole. I want to keep him what he's doing. But they just need to continue to have somebody to pair. Somebody else has to be hitting while Jose and Kwan are hitting. Like, you really need, and hopefully Santana continues to hit. So, some combination of Arias, Jones, Manzardo, they need to just continue to hit. Somebody needs to help carry the load. And they just need to take turns. Because at the end of the day, if Jose and Kwan don't hit, they're not going to win. It doesn't matter who they play. Those two guys have to hit for them to win. Rarely do they win a game where they don't. If Kwan and Ramirez go 0 in a game, they almost never win.
Yeah, and well, now you want either those two to give you hits and runs in the game, or the other combo, Manzardo and Santana, who are playing together every day to give you that run support combo, or both.
Yeah.
And also, Arias is really good in the Angel series as well. Just real quick on Nolan Jones. It's funny because I feel like every series a while ago, or every game or two, is giving you one ball that was hit over 100 miles per hour in terms of exit velo. This Angel series, Tyler, do you want to guess how many balls were hit over 100 miles per hour?
None.
0. 97, 99, which was close, 96, 92, 87, 78, 92. And so it's crazy because he's taking his singles in that mid 90s range, when before we were getting hits, a single at 105 miles per hour against the Dodgers, a single at 109.
Mid 90s exit velo is still a hard hit ball.
No, it is, but I'm saying to go series wise, this is the first series of the season where he didn't hit one at least 100 miles per hour.
Yeah. So, you got to see that. I'm still apprehensive about bringing David Fry up. Not that I'm going to, before I say what I want to say, it does not hurt to have David Fry on this team. Mm-hmm. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. But let's be honest about who David Fry really is and what he was last year. Okay, so I sent you a bunch of texts. I'm just trying to find them real quick. Most of David Fry's success last year came before June 1st.
Yeah, bro, May Merchant.
Oh man, where are those texts at? I should have had this pulled up beforehand. Okay. So David Fry last year hit 14 home runs. Total. He hit 8 of them before June 1st. So 8 weeks.
So over half.
He hit 8 homers. In the next for June, July, August, September. In the next 16, he hit 6. Okay. 37 of his 88 hits came before June 1st. 27 of his 51 RBIs came before June 1st. From June 1st to the end of the season, he hit 222. So let's keep it very real about who David, the guy walking into the lineup. He is not the savior of this offense. He's not the guy that's going to, come in and change the course of this lineup. I would still rather give Manzardo those at bats. I just don't know what you do with a guy that's a DH only. He can't throw the baseball.
I mean, he has to be the high leverage pinch hitter, right?
I think that's what his role is.
Like how Kerry Carpenter was used late in the year last year by the Tigers because he had the ankle injury.
I don't know. I just don't think it's worth sacrificing Kyle Manzardo's development.
Yeah, at this point, because you want the best version of Manzardo with the most at bats by the time you get to playoff time.
Yeah, we know who David Fry is. The David Fry we know is a significantly worse hitter against right-handed pitching than he is against left-handed. Mm-hmm. I think left-handed pitchers he hit 285, 286, and right-handers he hit like 218.
Which is a 70-point drop off.
Yeah, so to me, it's if we're just gonna platoon, I don't know, man. I know that people are disappointed with Manzardo's batting average, and you're gonna have to take the lumps with a young player. I was more wrong about his power than his average. I thought it was gonna be the opposite.
Because he was a doubles machine with the Clippers.
Yeah, and so to me, I think you're going to see a lot of David Fry and not a lot of Kyle Manzardo the next week.
Does that bug you?
Yeah, because like I said, Carlos Santana's not sitting. They're not going to sit $12 million on the bench. They're just not going to do it.
And they shouldn't. He's been one of the staples in this offense. He's been better than Manzardo as of late.
Absolutely. So he's too expensive to sit and he's been too good to sit. So
whose development is most important for this team come playoff time? The development of Manzardo, Arias, or Martinez?
I mean, I want to say all of them. You got to. I mean, if you're being honest, those we know Bo Naylor. Bo Naylor is just not a major league hitter. I'm sorry, he's not.
I think he is.
I don't think he is.
He's got some of the more visually pleasing home runs.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations. You hit 7 beautiful home runs.
They're pretty, dude.
But he's not a major league hitter. I don't know what I'm going to get from Nolan Jones. And so to me, Martinez, Manzardo, and Arias, 2 of those guys have to be good. If this team wants to go where it wants to go, 2 of those 3 guys has to turn into a legit player. And it doesn't have to be Manzardo. It can be Arias or Martinez. I think Martinez has a higher ceiling than all of them. And I think Martinez has a higher ceiling than all 3 of them as the 3 of them.
He's got more tools.
And then Arias, if Arias can stay within himself and use because he's got mad power to the opposite field. It's crazy. If he stays that guy, then he's also better. But to me, I think Manzardo and Martinez are the more important hitters because I think that they have more potential to do damage.
Did you watch the game today? And the commercials?
Parts.
Did you see you see Austin Hedges with the guard ball commercial?
Oh God.
I saw it and I was like, I hope Tyler's not watching because I know this made his blood boil. When the worst offensive player on the team is talking about the guard ball thing, that was cracking me up. For those who are new here, Tyler hates guard ball.
I hate the term guard ball because to me it just sounds like their version of saying that we're poor and this is how we have to play. This is broke ball, not guard ball.
I didn't realize Bo Naylor was hitting 179.
Yeah, dude, he's not a major league hitter.
All right, but like, what do you want from your catcher hitting wise?
It depends. Are you? He's not a good enough defensive catcher to hit like this.
Framing, he's 89th percentile.
If he was a better defender, it would almost be acceptable.
He's a great framer. He's a below average blocker, and he's slightly better than league average at controlling the run game,
which is impossible now for catchers. It shouldn't even be a stat. It's not even fair. When pitchers can only throw over first base 2 times, like your catcher's fucked.
And there's bigger bags too.
So to me, it's just one of these things where I am like not. You got to be able to hit your weight. Like my catcher needs at least hit 200. Just give me 200.
That's right. He's 205.
Give me 200. If you hit 200 with 20 bombs, 15 bombs. I'll say 15 bombs. Like I'll take it.
Yeah.
But dude, you can't hit below 180. Like, no, man, come on.
But like
you're an automatic out.
In today's age, catchers can't hit, but he was kind of known for the bat, so it is weird to see him struggle this bad. Yeah, I do have a catcher question for you. Can you tell me what catcher had the most home runs in a single season?
I feel like you researched this after we talked about it, and is it Mike Piazza?
No, it's somebody that's still playing.
Still playing?
Yes.
Wilson Contreras?
No. Even though I love him. He's a monster, bro. I love Wilson. He's not playing well this year, though.
Is he American or is he Latino?
I think he's Latino.
Shit.
You want to like another big hint?
Is it Gary Sanchez?
No.
Oh man. I don't know.
Salvi.
Oh man, I should have got that.
Salvi hit 48. That's the most all-time by 48.
Oh my god. Mm-hmm.
And Cal Raleigh is on pace to hit 61.
Okay, well, that's not gonna happen.
But it's crazy to see him just continuing to rake. So are we apologizing officially to Nolan Jones, or are we waiting one more week?
I'm not going to apologize. I'm just not going to talk bad about him for a little while.
I think it's important, Tyler. You are not who we met you as, because best believe when we met you, when you were here, you were bad.
Yeah.
You're allowed to get better. And I think that's the really important thing that, as fans,
I think with baseball, like for what we're doing, like when we talk about baseball is such a long season, like you're going to like, we're here to talk about what we're seeing.
Yeah.
And like when we're seeing you stink, like we're going to say that you stink.
That's what's happened.
And there's nothing wrong with like you getting better.
Now I do want to see if it's real or not.
Yeah.
Shane Bieber, assignment, Akron. He's pitching on Thursday.
That's quick.
Super.
Yeah, he pitched 2 1/3 innings in Phoenix, and then they're like, okay, go to Akron.
Well, he struck out 5, so it was obviously like no competition for anybody. I mean,
Shane, I think it's just one of those things where like, how slow were they playing this? Like we've seen Buddy been throwing a baseball for like 6 months.
Yeah, so people initially were talking we're not going to see him for a while. They think he could be up by the end of June.
If you're gonna, it's all on the pitch count. So how long he's gonna have to check those boxes and come like it's. I don't think for him it's gonna be. It's how fast he recovers from each start.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
That's the key. He's gonna have to check those boxes.
Is it 10 days?
They're not gonna bring him back. They're not gonna bring him to Cleveland until he's ready to go for at least 75 pitches.
Well, yeah. So that's the 2 things right now. They're trying to get him pitches and see how he feels, and stretch him out at the same time.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to go Thursday to go see him.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see. It's definitely something. We'll see how it goes. I want to know how many pitches he throws at Akron.
Yeah,
what's this?
Thursday?
Where's he at? 40, 50? If he's at 50, I'll be shocked if he's at 50. But if he's at 50, July or like end of June, early July.
I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked if he threw.
I'd be stunned though if he's at 50.
I'd be shocked if he threw more than 30.
Well, he threw 2 1/3 in Phoenix, so like, I'm gonna say he's probably at 35.
I'd be shocked if he pitched more than 30.
So at Akron, I'm gonna predict he's at 40 pitches.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think he'll be.
I think you'll see 4. If the maximum, I'm gonna say is 40. That's what you'll see in Akron.
So I have the maximum at 30. I think he'll be somewhere below that. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see what it looks like. I'm excited to see him out there. Obviously, you want him to dominate. Minor league hitters, of course. Yeah. So, is college baseball the most underrated playoffs in all sports?
100%, bro. It's such an electric factory. It's not even funny. Like,
I don't even know what's going on, but when I've turned on a couple just to have on while I clean the house, and it feels electric. You know that sound in a stadium that you get.
Yeah,
it's like you can feel the buzzing, like people think, and it's it's college baseball.
Yeah, it's absolutely lit like a Christmas tree. Like these games just feel like every game is like super loud, and like, to be fair, this is how a lot of these regular season games feel too. Like these like when you get to a Friday night
games,
a Friday night where you have aces going against each other, it's pretty sweet, man. I got a question for you. There are 3 schools, Division I schools from Ohio that made the NCAA tournament. Can you name them?
Bowling Green.
Nope.
You just told me the one.
Southwest part of Ohio.
Is it Warren? Wait, who made it?
Actually, all 3 of these schools are from Southwest Ohio.
So Ohio State didn't make it.
Hell no.
Kent State didn't make it.
Nope.
I couldn't tell you one.
I mean, I gave you the biggest clue. Southwest Ohio.
What? I don't know what's in Southwest Ohio. Cincinnati.
They
just put a crazy upset, actually, didn't they?
Cincinnati's in it. They're eliminated, but Miami of Ohio.
Okay, yeah.
And then Wright State.
Too, not Bowling Green. Miami
Wright State eliminated Vanderbilt.
Which Vandy boys, that's a thing.
I mean, Vanderbilt was the number 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1 overall seed. Gone.
Shout out to Vandy boys getting up out of here.
Wright State has been the best over the last 10 years. Wright State's probably been the best Division I baseball program in Ohio.
Which is wild. Is Ohio State ever going to challenge them in the next 3 years?
I don't know what. I don't know how Ohio State can be bad at baseball. I have not a clue.
I mean, they just landed Christian Campbell's brother.
I mean, they've had good players, man. Gavin Bruni was a 6'5" left-handed pitcher throwing 96 out of high school.
Yeah, like that's a good player, but have they ever pulled a national kid out of Georgia? No.
But like, how are they not getting the best players in Ohio? They don't even get the best players in Ohio.
No, they don't. But I'm saying like getting that kid out of Georgia, that to me, like, dog, that's a kid that's gonna get drafted.
They've had plenty of kids that get drafted. Dylan Dingler's playing in the bigs right now.
No, I'm saying drafted as a high schooler, like in the first 2 rounds.
Oh well,
like I don't think they've had that. I think the kid they just landed, the Campbell kid, is like the highest profile recruit they've landed.
Well,
right?
They better hope he doesn't get drafted in the first 2 rounds.
Because you don't think he's gonna.
No. Fuck no. Hell no. What?
I wonder if Boston will draft him.
Bro, you know what a signing bonus looks like for an 18-year-old kid when they get drafted in the first 2 rounds?
Dog, I know what it looks like. I've
there
also
seen 7 up to sometimes 7 digits on that signing bonus.
I know what it looks like. I've also seen kids go to school.
Shit, you bro. You give me $1 million. There's no shot I'm going to school.
That's real.
Fuck no.
That's super real. Oh, did you see Cooper Flagg reportedly made over $20 million in NIL?
I don't believe that shit for a second.
I do.
I don't believe it.
You don't think so?
Is it a high number? Absolutely. Is it probably 8? Is he in the tens of millions? I think so.
They said
But $28 million? I'm not buying it.
Almost 30 M's.
Bro, I'm going back to school. What?
Bro, they said he almost did.
Okay, I'm going back to school. If I'm making $28 million and I get to be the man, I'm going back to school. What?
Yeah, but like also like with the going back to school, you kind of gotta sort of go to school, you know. It's just a little headache, bro, you know?
Whatever. And I get to win? I don't know, man. You gotta hear me out.
I don't have one today. I've just been bitching about pitchers, bro. That's like been my thing today, bro. I'm just mad at the world, bro. Because my hear me out is like, it's time for the MLB to step in.
Oh, with pitchers?
With just baseball in general, bro. Like I just don't. Here we go. This is my hear me out. I don't think starting pitchers should throw the corny, gimmicky pitches. I think save that for the bullpens.
What do you mean the corny, gimmicky pitches? I don't even know what you're talking. What do you mean by that?
Like, why am I seeing pitchers throw ghost forks, knuckleballs, and splitters as starters? Like, if you don't go pump a four seam, throw a slider, and get somebody to buckle with a breaking ball, like, be American.
What's wrong with the starter throwing a splitter?
It's just stupid.
I mean,
it's a gimmick pitch. Save that for the pen.
So Roger Clemens was a gimmick pitcher?
Roger Clemens threw that when he was getting the lineup for the 4th and 5th time. That's a pass.
Kurt Schilling was a gimmick pitcher?
Racist. So, yeah.
Yeah, not a great. I didn't say he was a great human. I just said he was a good pitcher.
I'm just saying, bro, like those guys, they get away with it because guess what? They were pitching through the lineup 3 and 4 times every day. You're telling me you pitched through a lineup 3 times and you got to throw the splitter in the first inning? Go to hell. I don't like it. I really don't, bro. Like, if you want to act like a goofball, go to the bullpen and shoot spitballs at your butt buddies. Like, I don't want my starting pitcher throwing splitters. I just don't. At least not the first time through the lineup. Like, go be Randy Johnson.
Like, what happens though if it's a really good pitch?
Take your really good pitch and go to the bullpen. I don't care.
Oh man, I don't know, man.
I just don't like it, bro. I just don't like it.
I mean, I guess, but I guess stupid, I'm more interested in dudes that are just going to get outs.
I'm more interested in dudes that are going to get out. That's why all my favorite pitchers of all time are big time power pitchers with strikeout numbers. Shut the fuck up, bro. You like power pitchers, dude.
I did say on the phone that I think Pedro Martinez had the best peak of powers ever.
Right. You like power pitchers.
He had one of the best changeups of all time.
Yeah, and you know why his changeup was so effective? It was nasty, and his fastball was effective.
He also threw a nasty curveball, too.
Exactly. Guess what? Pedro, you're more American than some of these guys out here.
Whatever, man. I don't know what to
tell you. Don't want my starting pitcher in the first inning. I don't want his punch-out pitch to be a splitter. Because guess what? You don't know where that splitter's going. It's just it beats to its own drum. I think it's corny.
You sound like a guy whose team got carved up by a starting pitcher throwing a splitter.
No,
that's what you sound like.
No, it hasn't. I thought it was going to happen today. It didn't happen today. But also, like, I like splitters. Like, splitters are nasty. Save it for the bullpen. Doug, here's the thing. Like, the same way like you find beauty in like the mid-range game, I find beauty in my fastball, slider, changeup, curveball guys. My guys that are just a pitcher's pitcher. Like, you throw a 4-seam in a splitter, you're a bullpen arm.
I don't know why. Why do you gotta like? Why you gotta characterize somebody based on? I don't know, man. If you could throw 4 pitches for strikes, then you should be a starter. I don't care what the combination looks like.
I better not see that splitter before I see the changeup. I don't care. Like, I'm just saying.
But there are guys that couldn't throw a changeup, but they threw a splitter and it was better.
You're gonna be a great closer.
But what if I also have a good slider and a good curveball?
High leverage. Congrats.
Or a good curveball and a cutter.
If you have a good curveball, a good cutter, and a good fastball, my brother in Christ, you can throw that splitter when you've already gone through the lineup twice. I don't want to see it in the first inning. I just don't, bro. Like, that's why hear me out. Like, be American. Fastball, slider, curveball.
Okay. Whatever.
What did you do? Here's the thing. Let's who are your favorite pitchers?
Mine?
Yeah.
Right now?
Ever.
Ever?
Right. Start with right now. Let's do it.
I'm not saying like I'm not.
Say it because you and I like the same shit, and you're making me feel like you don't like the same shit as I like. So who's your favorite? Who is Tyler McCormick's favorite pitcher?
Right now,
your tone of voice right now is trying to gaslight me into thinking like I'm some weirdo out on an island. No, you don't like this shit either. Who's your favorite pitcher, Tyler?
My favorite pitcher right now is probably Scooble.
Guess what? Four-seamer, slider, evil slider. Go next.
And a splitter.
Scooble?
Doesn't he have a splitter? Or is it a changeup?
He goes fastball, slider, changeup.
Okay.
Warriors.
Skeens.
There you go. No splitter.
Okay. I'm not saying that
101. Yes.
Bro, and I'm saying I love splitters. I'm just saying like you like have to have like you're like giving everything criteria. You can only be a certain thing.
You know what it is, bro? Splitters are like Bloody Marys. If we go to the bar together and it's the evening and you order a Bloody Mary, I'm like, bro, go to hell.
Okay,
I might knock that shit off the bar. I don't give a fuck. No, I'm being so dead ass, bro. Like if you order a Bloody Mary, here we go. If you order a Bloody Mary past noon, you're a sicko. If you throw a splitter before the fifth inning, you're a sicko. I'm not fucking with you. It's the same thing.
Hey man, I'm not saying that
Okay, who's your third favorite pitcher?
I don't know, man. I got to think about it. Probably Cade Smith.
No splitter. He has a splitter.
Yeah, he has a splitter.
But guess what? He's not
a starter.
Exactly. I'm cool with you throw splitters. Go shoot spitballs at your buddies in the bullpen.
All right. Can I talk now?
Yeah. Go ahead, bro. You just pissed me off because you're trying to dance around and make me seem like I'm a weirdo.
I just feel like your take could use a little bit of did I say you were wrong?
No, but like the tone of voice is like you're gaslighting me.
My thing was like you should maybe think about maybe having a little flexibility in that take.
The flexibility is don't throw it the first 2 times you go through the lineup. That's the fucking flexibility.
Fine.
Or do steroids. If you do steroids, I'm cool with you throwing a splitter because you clearly like enjoy the power.
Okay. All right. Well, mine's very much more lighthearted than yours. Coffee ice cream is one of the most underrated flavors of ice cream ever.
Disgusting.
What do you mean? I just had a coffee ice cream from Handles and it was electric. It was awesome.
You're a sicko.
My grandma made homemade coffee ice cream.
Great. Don't make me diss your grandma.
I'm just saying. I find it to be very tasty.
No, absolutely not. Coffee ice cream. Coffee's not good in general. Best thing about coffee is its smell.
But like, I don't know if you get a vote because you said you don't really like ice cream that much.
I don't like ice cream, and my least favorite kind of ice cream is coffee ice cream. So I absolutely get a vote. You don't get to. I'm black. I don't get a vote. You know, you're taking my rights away. You know what year it is? You got on this show. I'm your co-host. You gaslit me for 3 minutes, and then you try to take away my rights that a lot of people died for. We was getting sprayed outside with fire hoses. You telling me I don't get a vote on this?
Coffee ice cream is a very underrated flavor of ice cream.
And it doesn't get enough credit. No, it needs to stay underrated.
No, it's actually I want it to be underrated because I want to make sure that it's never out of stock because I want it.
What time of day do you eat ice cream?
Like 8 p.m., 7:30 p.m.
Who the fuck wants caffeine at 7:30 or 8 p.m.? See, look at y'all.
Caffeine.
Yeah, there absolutely is caffeine in coffee ice cream.
I don't know if that's true.
See, look, tomorrow morning we're going to talk and you talk about how tired you were and how you didn't sleep that great. Well, guess what, Tyler? Don't eat coffee ice cream.
It's also 10:20, and I got to wake up at 5:45.
That partially.
So I'm going to be tired no matter what.
Well, maybe save that coffee ice cream for the morning.
Kiss my ass.
Dude, coffee ice cream absolutely has caffeine in it.
Well, there's decaf coffee.
Decaf coffee ice cream, boy, go straight to the back of the plane. What the fuck?
Back of the plane?
Can I? That, huh?
We gotta go. We see this
coffee. Hey, excuse me. Can I get some of that decaf coffee?
Just saying.
Really, Unk status. Happy belated birthday to Tyler. Did you get Did you get coffee ice cream on your birthday?
No, I got a coffee ice cream. I got an ice cream cake. A vanilla chocolate ice cream cake.
Classic. Good man. If you're here, like the video, I guess. If you're not here and you're listening, leave us a 5-star review, maybe.
Do all the things. Like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend. You know, yeah, everybody that listens to this one, your homework assignment is to share this with a friend.
Yeah.
And either talk shit about us or say how much you like it, whatever. It doesn't matter. Just
don't talk shit about me. I got a real fragile, I'm in a real fragile mental place right now.
No, I don't give a shit if you talk.
My Yankees lost 18-2 yesterday, bro. I'm on the verge.
Start calling you Pat.
No, I'm not on that verge. I'm on the verge of eating some ice cream and trying to cope.
Go get some coffee ice cream.
Absolutely not. I enjoy my sleep. I'm Chris. That's Tyler.
Peace.